What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Chromecast. We're here. We're doing it.
Yep, new stuff too.
New stuff.
If you're watching the video, if you're not watching the video, you should see the video.
Yeah, you should go check it out. It's on YouTube.
There's new stuff to look at.
There's new stuff to look at. We have the switcher. Check it out. Check it out. We got Robbie there, and boom, articles. Check it out. Pretty sweet. We're excited about it. My name's Joe, joined here today by Robbie.
Yep, you referred to me already. So
Did I?
Okay.
That's Robbie.
That's me.
That's his voice. If you're listening.
Him.
If you're just listening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still do that. It's kind of an old school thing, I guess, you know, introducing yourself, like on the radio, you know.
Yeah.
That voice you're hearing, that's Robbie.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like a new listener that's never listened.
That's true.
I have a hard time believing we have anybody listening to this podcast that hasn't either watched YouTube or been on the website.
Yeah, if they just stumble upon this.
If that's you, I'm real sorry.
Yeah, if that's you.
For multiple reasons, I think.
But welcome.
You don't know what you're in for.
But welcome. We're glad you're here. We're back with the video, as we mentioned. We cleared out the studio. We moved some things around. We got kind of the couch set up over in the
main office,
and it became our YouTube set.
Yeah.
For the week, because I got back and there is construction going on outside of our main office out there.
Yeah.
But then right here behind me, if you're watching the video,
that wall,
there's also construction over in that building.
They're old buildings, so I have a feeling the wall between this building and the next building isn't much of a wall. It's not like there's a big cinder block wall between the two. I don't feel like there's anything. Honestly, it feels like somebody working on the other side of a room, like in house or something.
Yeah, even though
it's a separate building.
When they like set their tools down, like we just hear that, like we hear everything. So we couldn't film in here, so we ended up filming over there. But it looked kind of cool because we had the new kind of setup in there.
Turned out good. So yeah, check out we're not going to really talk about that, I don't think, today. But
yeah,
unboxing of the Asus Chromebook CM14 Flip. Chromebook name. ARM powered. So Companion 520. We saw it in Vegas. We did hands on there.
A different device in Vegas.
Just a little bit different chassis, so with some different features and stuff. I went back and looked at that again this morning as I was putting the post out, and it is for sure the entirety of the outside of that Chromebook was that kind of scratchy plastic, which I liked. It had character, and I liked it.
Yeah.
This model only has that on the bottom, and then it's like smooth plastic. I don't care for it. But other than that, and the fact they removed the stylus, everything else is kind of the same. Yeah. And it's it's a good Chromebook with great battery life and
good price.
Yeah, good screen, good keyboard, decent trackpad, some good ports.
Yeah.
It's going to get great battery life. They quoted it 14 hours. So even if it gets less than that at 12, it's something like this device sitting here. You know, you get that into that 12 hours of use, it feels like eternal battery life. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, good Chromebook. You can check that video out on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll link it.
Our impromptu setup.
And you might hear some. I put a sound bed
on my phone, covered it. Like I didn't really.
I think for most people listening back, if you're listening on your phone, I think even if you have on just like a normal pair of headphones, you probably won't hear too much.
I was not listening in headphones. I just
think if you had on like the AirPods Pro or.
I think if you're doing
Pixel Buds Pro or something, you've got
earbuds, you're going to hear some of this. You definitely hear the thing at the end. I heard it.
Yeah. It was like...
You're like whipped up and... They're power washing the wall outside of that office.
I scared Honey.
No.
Sorry. If you hear pitter-patter of little doggy feet...
We let Honey in here today. And if you've not met Honey... Surely... we haven't done that many pictures of her.
No, we need to do another one.
Yeah, we have this one picture of her as a puppy on this desk, like popped up here, and we need to do that again. Like plop her full self up here.
Yeah,
create the exact same shot would be fun. Yeah, she's quite a bit bigger than she was, but she's a corgi. She's not that big. So we're trying to get her to lay down and just kind of chill in here.
Yep.
I think she's leaving.
She's gone.
She's disinterested in us. That's fine.
Yeah, she's not interested. So anywho, it's been been a busy week, but we wanted to get back to doing video. The main thing I want to do with this video is just have a more simple setup where we can come in here and
be done and export, and
yeah,
this doesn't become a day-long project for podcasting.
Right. And we're getting there. I love the idea of having the device plugged in, so we'll have that as a source there. We can kind of scroll through articles.
Hint of what we're going to talk about first.
Yeah. And yeah, we want to make it entertaining and make it engaging. But yeah, I want to also get back to doing clips on the Clips channel.
Yeah.
And there's some AI tools out there to help with shorts as well. Creating
YouTube is actually going to roll that out. I think Michael posted about that.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a tool that AI generated stuff from your long form. It'll just create them for you. Because obviously YouTube wants creators making shorts.
Yeah.
We're not really talking about this, but probably one of the coolest things I've seen use of shorts that's coming is from NFL Sunday Ticket. They're going to have like instant replay stuff in their YouTube Shorts channel. So like you're going to be able to, if you're watching a game and something cool happens, likely you're going to be able to head over to YouTube Shorts and probably in short order and get a real quick like replay of that.
Yeah.
So like that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
And it'll be a cool way to flip through that a Sunday evening and just kind of see what happened. That'll be fun. So like the more they leverage shorts, like I get sucked into shorts just like I'd get sucked into reels. Like I used to be all, TikTok was where all the best stuff was. And I just don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
And it's no slight to TikTok or anything like that. It just, the other platforms the creators have started putting stuff in, most of them put it on all of them. And so it's kind of like you just watch it where you choose. It's no different than anything else has been in the past when there's multiple ways to, get that stuff out. The benefit with shorts is they're at least trying to monetize it. Not doing very well, but they're trying. There's something.
Not that we have had any go bonkers or nothing, but we've had a few that have gotten some views, and it is pennies on the dollar compared to regular monetization.
Regular YouTube revenue is not great to begin with right now, and so you take that down, by 99%.
Yeah,
you get it. It's not super lucrative, but again, it's something they're trying. And I think shorts are just going to keep growing.
And I think for like
platform.
Like for Instagram, for us being, all the things that happen during the week, if there's something going on in the world of Chrome OS, we're normally going to kind of at least cover it, briefly at least on here.
Right.
And so take that snippet, put it on social. Yeah. So people, we're the source for that stuff. So anywho, working on some stuff.
Yeah.
Working on it. Let's hit on the article that you had pulled up there.
Yep.
So we have, I don't know that we've even mentioned on the giveaway yet, or I don't know that we've mentioned it on the podcast yet.
Yeah, we just published this August 16th. So.
Yeah, so that was my update.
Oh, wait, that's the update.
Yeah,
Sorry.
The first one was 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah.
I think it was right before you left.
Yeah. So, anywho, we are doing I always say this, it's like, the coolest giveaway yet. This one is business specific, which makes it a little different. We've done an EDU specific giveaway in the past with Logitech. This one here is really cool. So do you have it pulled up there, Robbie?
July 24th. Okay. I just wanted to get when we actually started it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll stick with the updated one here.
Yeah. So this is the Chrome OS for Business bundle that we've worked with kind of primarily with Cameo, but Cameo has worked very closely with Google and LG on all of this. So it's kind of a 3-part giveaway. And we're giving away 10 LG device, like what do they call them? Thin client or whatever?
They didn't really want us to refer to them as that.
Yeah.
But, they're all-in-ones.
Yeah. And they'll have flex on them.
They're a 1080p version of the monitor I used to have, that big 34-inch curved monster.
Yeah.
I had a Quad HD one, 1440 this way, but it's 1080p tall. But the same monitor. So it's that paired with a LG Chrome base that they use as a thin client. So you can choose kind of what you want installed on it. Obviously, they're doing Chrome OS via Chrome OS Flex. And then I think it comes with keyboard and mouse or something like that. And so, but it's kind of that whole piece of hardware. But in addition to that, you're getting 10 Cameo virtual app delivery licenses. And so that means you have the license from Cameo to take bundled Windows applications. If you don't know what Cameo does, Windows applications, anything that you want to install on your, kind of in your Cameo environment, and then you can turn and deliver those applications as a PWA to any of your devices in your fleet. And so it's a super simple process. The instance of Cameo creates that particular app, and then it assigns it to a URL on Cameo / and then stuff. You can take that, tell it to make a PWA, which is just wrapping it, get rid of all the Chrome stuff out of it, and deliver it as a windowed app, and boom, it shows up on the managed devices. And we're talking anything, any Windows application, and your end user doesn't have to then futz around with switching over, and this isn't a knock to Parallels, but they don't have to move over to an entire desktop and deal with all the overhead of all the desktop. It's only delivering each app as you need them. So if you're a company that is in need of 2 or 3 applications, so you're like, man, we're ready to go all Chrome OS. We just, there's this one thing for those machines, and then this one thing for our point of sale,
this POS thing we've got,
or healthcare. We have this thing that we've got to register for our insurance, or the way that we log what we do with patient, whatever. Like those things, I get it. Legacy software is important, especially in business, and so this solves that. You can go Chrome OS and get all the benefits of security. I'm going to write this thing up. Google. So by the time this goes out, we'll have this on the web. Google posted this in the enterprise blog. It's fascinating. Like, it was a fascinating read. I can't remember the name of the company. They're Fortune 500 company. And over the last 10 years, they've deployed 10,000 Chrome OS devices. They use them on the floor. They use them on, salespeople. They use them across the board. They are like Chrome OS all the way. And sorry, this isn't a Cameo thing, it's just a Chrome OS thing. But the 10,000 devices over 10 years, 0 vulnerability instances. Not one time has any security problem ever happened in 10 years with 10,000 devices. So that's at least 10,000 employees. It's probably like 20,000 employees, because those have probably changed hands and stuff. It's wild. And this isn't a small company. Like, they provide all sorts of stuff in medical field and technology and all this. Like, watching the little video they did was like, I was like, holy crap, this is so epic. And it's this kind of stuff. Like, with enterprise, sometimes we get stuck in the weeds. It's like, how do we make this news interesting to other people? Because there are there are enterprise people reading our website because they're just kind of interested vaguely in Chromebooks. But it's like, how do we make this interesting enough so that they might go, man, I need to talk to Steve about that on Monday. And they go, have we looked into Chromebooks? Because they talk about how their IT numbers have dwindled to nothing. They don't have all this overhead all of a sudden. They don't have to worry about replacing devices all the time. They don't have to worry about security vulnerabilities. It's saved them so much money, and they become more efficient using Chrome OS. And so you take a story like that, and I was like, that's epic that they figured out how to go all Chrome OS. But there's a couple companies maybe looking at something like that and going, yeah, but
we just have that.
What are we going to do with those two things? That's where Cameo is like, hey, we got you. Buy the license for this, and that's what this giveaway is. You get 10 of those licenses. So for a small group of workers, you could have those licenses, and it comes with 10 enterprise upgrades. So enhancing, kind of what you can do with those Chromebooks. And so that gives you, now you've got the licensing for Cameo, but you also got the licensing for the admin console, basically, that allows you to deploy all this stuff and handle all of it and make your IT people's lives a little easier. So it's a sweet bundle. It's sometimes hard to get across why this is so useful. And the people we're trying to reach with this aren't always the people that are going and reading Chromebook news. A lot of people get done with work, and they're done with work. They don't want to sit around and read about stuff. We love Chromebooks and talk about Chromebooks and Chrome OS and all that stuff, and not everybody's like that. And so, trying to find interesting ways to get this stuff in front of the right people that might go, oh crap, that would be great for us. Yeah, why not? I mean, it could be free.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be the boss. You could enter to win this and win it, and then bring this to your boss, and maybe get some really good attaboys.
That's right. Because I put it up in the kind of top of the article here. I'll click back over. Yeah, right there at the very top. Who's eligible? You're trying to just make that as clear as we can. If you are a business owner, if you are an IT decision maker or in IT, or if you just work for a company and you have a company email, hit us up. Go to the website, enter to win.
Yeah, and it's just one of those. It's tough because again, like it's, Chrome OS and Chromebooks are already a niche, and then there's a niche inside that niche. But it's a huge niche. Is the weird part. Like the number of people using Chromebooks.
So we need you to help us spread the word.
It's like that's just not our normal audience specifically, and so it's like getting the right people to see it and then share it on social and all that kind of stuff would be helpful because we want to give these things away.
So even if you are listening to this and you're thinking, oh yeah, I don't know that I need to enter to win that. Well, just send it on to your IT person, or just enter to win and see what happens. We'll contact you and work through the details. So yeah, it's a cool giveaway. I mean, it is very awesome to see Cameo kind of work with these partners and get this pulled together. And we've always said people don't care where their apps are coming from.
They just don't.
If they just need that one app and it's just down there and they just go click it and boom, rocking and rolling, like
they don't care.
They don't care.
Really don't.
So
and they don't need to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Is the terminology there. They don't have to see it. They just need to see that the icon shows up. And that's exactly what you can do with Cameo. Like the admin guys can just go, boom, here's the address, wrap it up, open as window, click it, bam, it's right there on their in their app tray. It's right there in the system tray. Like it's very simple, very straightforward, and the experience is good. I mean, it's it's remoting in basically. So but you don't have to have a whole lot of bandwidth, and most of the applications that you'll need to do like this, they're not big. You're not running 3D games. Or that's not what you're trying to do.
Video editing, with CapCut or something like
you're not trying to watch back stuff that has a lot of video intensive stuff, because ultimately, just like game streaming, it's kind of all you're doing. You're just looking at a video of that computer doing its thing. At the end of the day, like remoting in, that's really all you're doing. You're just watching a video, the video output of that device, and so you don't need a ton of bandwidth to make it work. So from we've tested and messed around with it. It's cool. Works like you'd expect. It's virtual desktop stuff a little bit cleaner, like just delivered in I think a much more appropriate way on a Chromebook, especially when we talk about an enterprise. So kudos to Cameo. They've built something I think just awesome. I mean, it's just legitimately awesome. Like it's the way it needs to be done, and like it's the kind of it feels like the final word. Like that if for right now, if you need to VDI, applications, Windows applications, this is it. This is what you do. This is the best way to do it. Bringing up another workspace or a desktop and stuff, like why would you bother doing that? Like for consumers, sure, you need to do Chrome Remote Desktop or something, but it'd be cool if Google's like, this is pretty cool for our consumers. We could do Chrome Remote Desktop on your home PC and do something similar to this. It'd be really nice for them to offer that. Maybe down the road they will, because then somebody going into Best Buy, if there is but it have to be a clear path, a very, very clear path to go. Okay, at home on your Windows device, like the Chrome Remote Desktop app would basically have to walk you through. Would you like to just deliver up this app on your Chromebook when you need it? Make sure this device is on and do that. And I mean, they could do that, I think. Or probably easier, Cameo could just say, hey, for $5 a month.
We'll start doing
you can run a basic
version.
server and you can install what you want, up to 10 programs and or
maybe
whatever.
Down the road.
They're clearly enterprise focused right now, and that's where it needs to be. When the stakes are a little bit lower, like for me, when I started using Chromebooks, I'd figure out workarounds. I just figured out a different way to do the task. It's far easier than it was back then. But I think for consumers, a lot of times you can just kind of figure out a workaround, figure out a different solution for the task at hand and move on. And so enterprise, the stakes are just a lot higher. And
there's more of those pieces of legacy software,
that you can't get off of.
This is just what we do. We normally get a little off track, but we mentioned CapCut. You've used it, I think, a decent amount. I've used it a handful of times on the web. So not CapCut on your phone. Do you have it? Just open it up real quick. Let's just show the interface real quick so people see what we're talking about. We need to. Let
me just do a search real quick.
We need to do a video on just basic video editing on a Chromebook. This is what I would recommend.
For sure.
It is.
Sorry, I gotta sign in real quick. Hold on.
It is so good.
It really is. Like
it is so good.
You know, we're pumping the brakes on Proof Golf, not because we're not going to do it, but if you listen to, was it last week?
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Whenever we did the podcast where we talked about some of the change-ups and things that are changing here, personnel-wise. You know, we want to make sure that things are shored up with Chrome Unboxed first, and so we're making sure that we do that.
Yeah.
But we're going to get back into Proof Golf, and I bring Proof Golf up because I was using this primarily. Every short that I edited and posted, I did right here because it's so simple to use. So let me just hit create new. We'll do.
So if you've
16 by 9.
You've probably heard of CapCut if you're familiar with TikTok. I don't know the organization like structure. Like are they just the recommended?
No, it's the
editor?
official editor for it.
So they maybe bought them or something. I don't know. But
sorry, I have not logged into this on this. I don't know why it's doing.
Well,
light mode.
But you can see the basic interface here. If you're watching over on YouTube, you can see the interface here. Like,
I've got some stuff that I had uploaded for Proof Golf. So yeah. Let me pull.
You know, this is for like your basic, quick editing, social media stuff. If you're trying to edit down a short for your company or something, Canva has some cool stuff built in now. But
Canva's cool, but Canva's weird. The way that you do the clips.
It's not
and that stacked.
Yeah, it's not quite video editing the way that I think about video editing. Like,
so like,
this is how I think about video editing.
You can lay it side by side, but I can pull it up here if I need to put it on top, and it'll let me do extra tracks. I can pull the audio off. Look, I look like a gorilla or something.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't know what's going on there.
So many tools. And for someone like me who's not super well versed with video editors, killed it.
Uh-oh.
This poor little Chromebook. He's a little low-end ARM Chromebook. I'm asking a little bit extra of him right now. But you get it. Like there's down the side, you can add photos, you can add audio, you can extract your audio, you can add text overlays with hundreds of transitions.
Yeah.
You have transitions between clips that you can use. There's filters, effects. It's
so much.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
The only thing with this and every other editing solution on the web, you do have to upload your clips.
Right.
And so that's just part of it.
Yeah. You're not gonna sit like. There's no way I could edit this podcast. I couldn't even really edit I don't know that I could edit one of our main videos. If we did some workarounds, we maybe could edit a main channel video. But
I mean, if you had to, you could. Like you just have to go. I'm going to upload. It's right now.
And
with
we're going to film
editing,
on certain formats.
There's the exporting, and there's all the pieces where you just kind of have to wait a little bit. You just have to know, like, we're going to have to uploading first is the main thing. I'm going to see what that experience is like and probably write something about it. Maybe that's what we'll make our video about.
Yeah.
So my son got to do a really cool thing and set off tornado sirens. We've talked a little bit about it, I think, in here, where I spun up a YouTube channel for him to make shorts, and he makes shorts about tornado sirens, and they've blown up. It's so weird.
That's great.
He's probably pushing towards 6,000 subscribers now. He started in June. So he's only been at it for like 2 months. He's got multiple videos with hundreds of thousands of views on them. I'd say his channel's far exceeded 1 million views already. I thought, like, when he first started, he was so excited within like a week to get hit to 10 subscribers. And most of that was us, honestly, going to asking family members to subscribe and stuff. But he was so excited for 10.
Yeah.
And when he hit 100, I mean, you would have thought he like struck gold. He was so excited, so happy. And the next thing you know, it's like, well, now we're at 1,000. Now we're at 2,000, 3, 4, 5, and 6,000 subscribers. So,
what's the channel name so people can guess up?
Landon's Sirens. Go check him out.
Pull it up. Let's look at the channel. We got this access now. We can show stuff on video.
I'll search it in here. I'm trying to remember why I brought that up.
We were.
What the heck were we talking about?
We were talking about CapCut, and we were talking about editing video and somehow got on land.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with CapCut. So my wife arranged
we
to go to the
filmed it.
local 911 spot where they turn on all the sirens in our county. Hundreds of sirens go off. And he got to go in and be the one that pushed the button. So the newspaper came and did a little thing. He was in the newspaper. But Joe, recorded all of it on the camera. So I have all the footage. It's a lot, like it's actually not that long of footage, but our camera footage is, high density stuff. And so I'm going to put CapCut to the test, and I'm going to have to do it soon because my son is all over me.
He's wearing you out.
Here we go. You can see right here, tornado sirens everywhere. And as you can see, I've not touched any of this.
I love it so much.
He's done everything all by himself. So I told him, I was like, you're going to run it. I'm not going to. It's like, if you ever ask me for help, I will help you. But he does all the editing himself, all the text overlays and stuff. He does it in CapCut on his phone and then uploads. And so I told him, he tried to explain to me why he was running into his padding here. I was like, well, if you want me to help you fix it, I'll help you. But until you come to me and say something, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, 5,500 subs.
I love it so much.
So just look through here. There's 75,000 on that one. 56,000, 76. There's 191,000 right there. 120,000, 240,000 there. 125 there.
Great. Tornado sirens, folks.
There's nothing that we've ever put on short form video that's ever gotten anywhere close to this.
No.
We had a couple weird ones on Proof that had like 30,000, and they were just random.
Yeah.
This one's 174,000. So yeah,
it's great stuff.
Tornado siren. Oh, 231. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Just
tornado
crazy.
sirens.
It's
Different tornado sirens. Check it out.
Yeah. And if you like tornado sirens, he can't even really communicate why it is he likes them. But I told Joe, I was like, we talked about this.
Like
and I'm like,
Chromebooks so much? Why do I like video cameras so much?
Really deep down start talking about Chromebooks and why I love them so much.
Yeah,
it's hard to communicate. Like you can be like, oh, because they're thin client or they're web based. It's like it's part of it, I think, but I don't know. I don't know that. I remember when I first started using a Chromebook and that contrarian kind of nature of, I don't know why I liked it enough to put myself through what I did in order to force myself to get rid of Windows. I don't know. I really don't have a good grasp on what that was, but there was something about it I knew. And I hear other people say that too. They're just like, once I've used it and I go back to using something else, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to not use the other thing. I like this. And that's where I am now. I'm just like, when I use Windows or Mac, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
They're fine. I can get around. It's fine. But I always want to come back to Chrome OS. The nature of it, the simplicity of it is attractive. But I can't really define why it is I care so much about them. So I guess I can't ask him to do that anymore.
Yeah. But he's editing all of that, CapCut.
All CapCut.
So we're going to try to edit down that video, CapCut.
I'm going to put it all in there, and I'm going to upload it and kind of take note of how long it takes to get all the footage uploaded. It's going to take a minute.
And what we could do, I didn't, whenever I was filming that, I wasn't necessarily thinking about editing on maybe CapCut or something like that. We could run those clips through Handbrake or something and get a much more condensed version instead of, because I filmed them 422 10-bit
because it was a lot. It took 2.5 hours to upload to Google Drive because I went in and uploaded.
I mean, I think the one 30-minute clip or the one 15-minute clip's 30 gigs.
Yeah. So and Drive might have already condensed them some. Because I think it renders them a little bit. So once I pull them back down from Drive, it might not be as bad. But I did that prior, and it did take 2.5 hours. I left my Chromebook open and left. And that night, they were all uploaded. So, I'll count that into the experience, too. Because if it works Google Drive easily, I haven't really messed with that much, connecting Drive and seeing what it can do with that. Because it could just, I might be able to just click it and be done with it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'll kind of document it and then write and maybe do a video about that.
It's just cool that this mobile editor, a Android app that was very robust and awesome, they were like, oh yeah, we can
build a web component.
We can build a web component and put it out there, and it's great.
So great. It's just it's deconstructive or whatever, non-destructive, it's linear editing, but it's not you can take the clips and just expand them and move them, and you're not destructive. It's non-destructive linear editing. I think is what it is, which is that's the way my brain works with video editing.
Right.
Like if I'm going to do it, that's how it needs to, like, I don't need to do anything else. And it's been super simple for me to be able to use.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think a lot of people waiting for that, like we were actually we were going to do something on CapCut web. And I remember, like I wrote a post about it, but I remember we went to go pull up LumaFusion because we paid for LumaFusion for the company, and I couldn't get any clips to import.
Yeah, and we tried it on 3 different devices. Yeah. We tried on an ARM. We tried on a.
So we need to try probably again because that's been a month and a half ago. Hopefully they got that fixed because obviously that makes it kind of hard to edit video when you can't import any video.
You can't get your files in there. And remember we tried from Drive. We tried from downloading locally. I tried on one device putting it on a hard drive and just seeing if maybe that would let it import.
Would
Nothing.
Not show.
Yeah, well, we need to dig into that.
Likely,
obviously, and let them know too.
Clearly was a bug. Yeah. There were a lot of things going on within that vicinity of time.
Yeah, we need to go back.
Yeah, so we'll check that out again.
So, okay. What else do we have on the agenda for
Side
today?
rails.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's okay.
I think we got to talk this.
Yeah, I think, that's 2 this week.
Yeah, so you can see that one and then that one.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here,
as I say, do you have?
I've got them pulled up here, but for those listening,
we'll start with the Snapdragon and then the more recent, actually posted right before we walked in here with NVIDIA. You got 2 Chromebook groups basically that have been discontinued.
Yeah,
and it's not like, it seems like. Put this in context. For months, I've looked into Herobrine, which is the baseboard for the Snapdragon 7C Plus Gen 3 Chromebooks, and there were like 6 or 7 of them. And every time I'd go look, like, man, they didn't touch this thing in like 3 months. There's one commit, but it's one of those. There's some commits where they'll throw other boards in for testing and stuff. Like they're not really doing any work on that board. It just happened to be in the slew of other ones that got tested.
Yeah,
and that's all I was seeing, and so. I didn't feel good about the whole thing to begin with. And then, they put a couple commits in there that are quite clear that ain't happening. Like, they're just done. And so that was right at a week ago. So
yeah, I think we talked last week about the Snapdragon stuff.
Did we talk about it? I looked in our show notes and there's nothing about it. I think we were gonna, and we didn't.
Man.
But actually, I published this after the podcast, so maybe we thought we were.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe we talked about it just in the office,
or we
whatever.
mentioned it or something.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's troubling, but not like, I don't know, end of the world bad news or anything. Like we were speaking with Google kind of off the record, and there's not a whole lot I can say. I can I can at least tell you that from that conversation, it seemed pretty clear that MediaTek was clearly the focus right now, and that's obviously now very clear. The only ARM in the game right now is MediaTek moving forward, and we're going to talk about that before we kind of exit the show today. Some of the stuff that's coming, but it's plainly obvious now that Snapdragon for right now just isn't around. Now there are still commits I've found for the internally SC 8280 XP, I think, and that should somewhere line up with what would be like the latest 8CX Snapdragon chips. Maybe we'll see when they talk this fall about Windows on Snapdragon. Maybe they'll finally go, hey, we ditch these so that we can build Chromebooks with 8CX instead.
Right.
We're instead of, because this is no slight to MediaTek, but if Qualcomm shows up and because 8CX always has basically the best stuff that you see in the phone processors, and what they're doing with the like Gen 2 and the upcoming Gen 3 processors,
they're legit.
They're beast.
Yeah.
And so you get those kind of cores in a compute platform. It would not just be like, oh, this is a nice ARM Chromebook. Like, it'd be a beast. It would be really, really fast and very powerful, and probably still great on battery. And so, I'm still a little hopeful that Qualcomm has kind of gone, okay, look, like clearly MediaTek is invested in Chrome OS in some ways, and here's the segment they're going after. What if we go to attack the higher end segment? So what if no one's built a $600 or $700 ARM powered Chromebook. I don't think. No, they have not. And so maybe that's what they're after. Maybe they're like, hey, we can go do that and differentiate ourselves and build what we want to build anyway. I think the mid range, the 7C Gen 3 probably would have been awesome. I really do think it would have been good because it's not like that chip went away. They're not going to put it in Chromebooks. But the Gen 2 was pretty good, and the jump in performance with the Gen 3 was going to be enough that I think it would have been very good Chromebooks. Now, granted, again, they would go against kind of what MediaTek's in the middle of doing already, and maybe they looked at it and went, not worth fighting that.
We'll let them have that.
We'll do something else. But other than a handful of commits around that Snapdragon that have been pretty recently, the SC8280, I don't have a whole lot to go on. So I'm just kind of being hopeful that they're not completely exiting. It'd be weird, I think, for them to do that. As much as they talk about cloud computing or talk about always connected computing and battery life and all that stuff, like I know you are trying to shoehorn yourself into Windows. It's not working.
Yeah.
Like clearly for years they've been doing this, and no one's buying these things. No one's interested in what you're doing. So come over to Chrome OS and
just lean into
and
it.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
Like you could be again, it's no slight to MediaTek. It's just Qualcomm when it comes to some of these things. Like MediaTek is catching up in the phone game for sure. But Qualcomm's out there in front for a reason. Like they're better than Exynos chips. They're better than Google's Tensor chips.
Yeah, they've been at it for a while. They've refined it over the last.
They cost a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it too. Maybe the partners were looking at it and going, maybe Qualcomm finally showed up with the 7C Plus Gen 3. And we're like, we thought it was going to be this much. Now we've been fabbing them. It's going to be this much. And they're like, well, now we're taking a mid-range Chromebook and pricing it out of the segment it's supposed to be in. We can't do it. And 2 or 3 of those partners drop, and then all of a sudden all the developers are like,
yeah,
we can't. It's not worth the time to do this. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just completely guessing. No idea what happened there. And obviously Google's not going to. I can tell you this. Even off record, they weren't willing to tell me what was happening there. So
yeah,
don't know. We may not ever get a full answer as to what happened there.
And hopefully they're not gone.
I just have a hard time believing it would.
But we'll see.
But then right on the heels of that, part of those same commits have references to AGA and Hades, which are if you're a Chrome OS enthusiast that gets into all these baseboards and stuff, you might notice those. Most people wouldn't. AGA and Hades are the 2 that we were tracking with NVIDIA GPUs inside. And so that was an exciting thing because there were even commits showing
honey,
clicky clacky,
pitter pattering around. I'm gonna lock you out there, girl.
She's leaving. She won't stay gone. She's like Qualcomm. You might leave now. You'll come back. You'll be back.
She'll be back.
But yeah, those 2 boards not only had NVIDIA GPUs being tested in them, like they were going to have Borealis like out of the gate, like just installed, ready to go.
Which would have been so cool.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm not sure where all that's going, but those 2 boards and that whole project has been scrapped too. I was kind of hoping. Well, first off, I got scooped on it. Kevin over at About Chromebooks got me, and I knew that there was a chance. I was like, nobody else paying attention to this stuff. I'll get it
Kevin
out in a
is.
little bit. Yeah. But he said it was in his article, it was a commenter in the post because he reposted when we posted about the Snapdragon. The commenter was looking through some of that stuff and saw it and then told him. And so then he wrote the post. I'll be honest with you. I was trying to smooth it over a little bit. Writing 2 posts within a week about like this is a small group. It's 2 Chromebooks. The Snapdragon one I felt was a little bit more gut wrenching. It was like 7 Chromebooks. Like that's a family. That's like a fleet of new devices that just got axed. And so, I didn't want to write it. I wanted to wait like one more week my plan was like late next week. I would write it and be like, hey, here's this thing. And I don't sit on stuff too long like that. I don't know. Negative press is not my thing. I don't love slamming stuff or putting, bad vibes out there. And so I don't know. I just wanted to hold on to it and tell people a little bit later, because it's like I didn't want to follow up one, because I knew both of them. I could have published them same day. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. It just looks bad, because people start seeing that stuff and then going,
whoa, what's happening?
What's happening? It's all crumbling. It's not all crumbling. Trust me. These decisions to nix these boards, again, I've been watching the Herobrine stuff fall apart for 6 months.
Right.
Kind of knew the writing was on the wall, but there was nothing. I needed something to say what it did, in order to come out and be like, okay, these are canceled.
Yeah.
And it's happened before. There's other boards that have been canceled, and there's so many Chromebooks coming out. Because just on the flip side of that happening, I was like trying to get my head around the number of there's a baseboard called NISA, and it's the main baseboard for 12th gen Alder Lake-N Chromebooks. So like the Flex 3i. So it has an N100 chip in it. So there's N100 and N200 chips. I don't even, I've lost count how many are coming. Like on the first page of looking at initial devices yesterday, there were 4 more that were added just like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's probably going to balloon up to 20, 25 devices. Now, some of these are going to be the same Chromebook, education Chromebook that it's going to look, the Acer 512 is one of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's already technically out. Like I found a listing of it for the model number. It looks exactly like the 512 that came out last year. Remember at CES, we looked at it and we're like, so yeah, same.
Yeah, same. Is same.
The keys can't clip off. You can throw it off a building. You can stand on it.
Same stuff.
Yeah, they got to do what they got to do. They're just updating the internals.
It was cool. Was it in the Vero? Which one were they doing that was going to be a Vero?
There is a 512. It was an education though.
Yeah.
Like a black Vero,
which is cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sorry,
I could see one of those being the N100, N200, because these are really good processors, like really, really good. You get the N100 with 8 gigs of RAM and some storage, and it'll blow away most of your all of your ARM Chromebooks. Honestly, I mean they're fast. They're really good processors. So I don't mind seeing a bunch of them. I hope more of them come to the consumer side. I hope that we see more super slim convertibles come out of it. And I have no proof of any of this, but I'm like, it'd be really cool for someone to make a tablet with it in there. Like, why not? They're fanless. They're thin.
Maybe HP will bring back the
X2. I think what's going to happen with tablets is that the tablets we're going to get are going to be MediaTek MT8188 tablets, whatever that ends up being called. But we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, I didn't want to rain on this parade, but there's a lot of good Chromebooks in the works that are coming, like for sure. Like there's tons of stuff coming. These two groups just unfortunately are done, and so I don't know what that means for the whole Borealis thing. I mean, they're still working on it. It is not out of beta. As a matter of fact, I went to turn the Borealis flag on and stable on the newest Acer 714. Turn the flag on, and it's not like it doesn't used to. You turn that flag on and you go to your app tray and Steam is there.
Yeah,
it's not there. And so they're obviously still working through all sorts of things with that. It's a highly complex thing that they never said was going to be ready in 3 months. They said it's going to take a while. Maybe I could see maybe it showing up out of beta next year, like early next year, something like that, at the pace they're going. So maybe that was part of the NVIDIA thing too. They're like, look, these Chromebooks are like ready to go. So now we need Borealis to be ready, good and ready. But the timelines don't line up at all.
Right.
And so I think we could end up seeing new ones spin up with GPUs in them. Like, I don't think this is the end of the line necessarily. It could just be development things just don't work out. And it's okay. It just happens.
And I could see, you're right. Like, I could see them really... Oh, sad.
I know. It's always gone.
Oh, fresh roasted coffee out.
It's so good.
We've
it would be if I had finished that one and made one for the podcast.
Yeah,
that would have been my third cup before lunch.
See, I've only had one. I thought about another one for the podcast, but I decided to not be jittery.
I'm trying to go in in beast mode today. So I want
lunch.
5 posts and podcasting today.
Let's go.
I've already got 2 out and we're podcasting. So
let's go.
40% there.
But yeah, I mean, I could see NVIDIA like launching these devices and wanting to make a big gaming splash. You know, like they're like obviously.
Can you imagine for a second?
They announced
shows
this.
up and they're like, now with NVIDIA GPUs, and
so
somebody
you
goes,
can use it for.
Excuse me, what am I supposed to do with this? We don't know.
So you can use it for the Borealis that isn't showed up.
Android games.
Yeah.
Cloud gaming.
Right.
Oh, you don't need it for those things.
Right. So yeah,
it could just be that.
It could very well be just a timing issue.
And as closely as they've worked with AMD, well, I say closely, there are AMD Chromebooks at least.
Yeah.
There was one ever NVIDIA Chromebook. It was the Samsung Chromebook 2. I should have left that as like a poll. Like, can you name one Tegra?
We'll still throw it on. We'll still throw it on Twitter.
Yeah, the Tegra X1.
On X, sorry.
Yeah, the Tegra X1 Chromebook. Can you name what it was? Yeah, it was the Samsung Chromebook 2. Was a Tegra powered, so an NVIDIA SoC, like not just a GPU. That's all NVIDIA has ever done with Chrome OS. So. And on the flip side of that, we've got multiple AMD powered Chromebooks, and so AMD makes Radeon GPUs.
Yep.
So that I was looking for a little bit for that, and then there has been some commits around that stuff. I couldn't find anything newer than April though. So I'm like, and they might have just been farting around with it and going, okay, we just need to pump the brakes until Borealis is closer, and then we can add this.
Yeah.
Or the other thing I was thinking, and I don't even know that these are available anymore. Or I'm sure they're available, but I don't know if it's like a thing people use. But USB Type-C, Thunderbolt 4 specifically, external GPUs. Yeah. Why not? Why not just get Chrome OS in a spot where, hey, these 3 or 4 models of external GPUs work perfectly. I just plug them into, and I have to have an Intel whatever at the time when they want to do it. So it's got to be like 12th or 13th or 14th gen or something. Yeah. Only Intel. Or only AMD, whatever. I don't care. Like, you decide, like, these are the types of Chromebooks that will work well, and we can do all the stuff, and they have the right Thunderbolt port. And if you buy one of these 10 Chromebooks, you can plug an external GPU in and do all the stuff that we were going to do with our internally put GPU. Like, I could see them doing that. I feel like that would even be a easier path forward for Chromebooks. Wouldn't it? I mean,
yeah. I asked, I can't remember which interview it was. It was last year. In one of my interviews with one of the folks from Google, I asked about external GPUs, and they were kind of dancing around it. So I think it's something they're thinking about, and I could see somebody like AMD who makes these awesome GPUs. Yeah.
I mean, I think that'd just be a simpler solution.
Yeah.
I really do, because the problem becomes you build, say, 2, 3 Chromebooks, gaming Chromebooks that have big GPUs in them. Well, guess what? Those GPUs aren't cheap. So that drives the price up considerably. We can't make a gaming Chromebook with a GPU inside and make a big deal about, Steam on Chromebooks without having a 120 hertz screen on it, without having an RGB keyboard, without having plenty of battery life and probably some big fans. Like, go look at Windows gaming Chromebooks, or Windows gaming Chromebooks. Go look at Windows gaming laptops and look at the pricing on them.
Yeah.
They are not cheap. I mean, they're just not cheap. I mean, I ended up selling a couple different laptops I had for the golf simulator and wanted to buy something that's got some, real grunt to it so that, I can run these things at 4K and not have stuttering. And so I finally broke down and bought just a tower with, it's the CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of storage, and a 4070 NVIDIA GPU. Yeah. And it's a cool case. It's glass, and it's got all kinds of colors and stuff on it. It was $2,000, and it was on sale. Like, this stuff is not cheap. And so you really have to think about that stuff. When you go to cram a GPU in a Chromebook, it's not like, hey, I can take a $500 Chromebook, add on a $200 part, upcharge a little bit, and call it $700, $800. Wrong. Because you can't start with that Chromebook. You got to start at least with something that's closer to the 516 GE, which is $650. And that Chromebook on its own is not enough. Like, the screen is good, but you probably need to beef the speakers up. You're probably going to beef the chassis up. You're probably going to beef the fans up. So you're talking multiple things that are also going to increase the price. I would assume a GPU, I don't even know this, but would at least increase it by a couple $100.
Yeah.
At the baseline. So now all of a sudden you're over $1,000 for a Chromebook. And we know how people get about $1,000 Chromebooks. They don't like them.
Too much.
I don't like it.
It's too much, and I don't like it.
Too much money for a Chromebook. I don't like it. And to be fair, you buy a device with a GPU and all that kind of stuff in it. A lot of people are like, yeah, I want a game on this, but I also like to edit video and I like to do that kind of stuff. And they want to do like full-blown big boy video editing when you buy something with a GPU and all that kind of stuff in it. And we're still back at that kind of like, there's options. Yeah. But we're talking about CapCut over here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Final Cut.
DaVinci or Final Cut or Premiere.
So, all those things could have probably coalesced and for them go, timing's probably not right. This isn't going to work. And maybe the whole external GPU thing happens. That would be kind of cool, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much those cost. Do a googly search here.
We have us a Chromebook over here.
Do a googly search. Let's see what we get. Because, man, if that would work, that would just be.
Let's see.
That would be so cool.
USB-C in there.
Yeah. And I do remember last year asking someone.
That's a mini one for $280.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as long as
that's the GeForce 1650. Oh, no, it's a PCI. External GPU, $400.
Yeah.
I don't even know the specs on these. These could be crappy GPUs. Probably $300, $400. But they're clearly. I mean, there's a 2023 guide about external GPUs. Yeah. So, I mean, like
I know when. Gosh, I don't know if it was when the ARM stuff was happening with Mac. I don't know. I remember. Jonathan Morrison doing a video about external GPUs and finding the right one for video editing with Final Cut and all this stuff. And I think that was all with all of the M1 stuff, that transition. Yeah. I don't know. People trying to figure out if that worked or not. I want to say it ended up working, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's still like big picture here. you've got these two kind of. Not, I wouldn't say like, I don't know that anybody was sitting around waiting for their NVIDIA Chromebook to show up.
That one.
So it's not like these were like huge high profile devices, but still, you've got two.
The Snapdragon,
I think there's probably.
That's pretty important. You've got two
people waiting on that one.
You've got a couple devices in the Duet 3 and the Duet 5 that are some of the most popular Chromebooks available, and that SoC maker has checked out for right now. That one hurt.
Yeah, that one for sure. That hurts.
The gaming ones, I don't know. I just don't know that. Yeah. And I played, with the Ultimate. They've rolled out Ultimate across the country now in the U.S. For GeForce Now. It's so good.
Yeah.
My gosh, like staggeringly good. And I know it's not for every gamer, but they just like every week it's like here's 15, 20 more games. I no idea what their game count is up to now, but it's got to be thousands of games available on GeForce Now, and even playing very difficult to render games. I mean, Apex Legends at crazy high, quad HD, 120 hertz.
Just
you
rolling.
Just wouldn't know. And I mean, and it was perfectly shown to us in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know which one was which. And the one that looked the best and that everybody liked the best was the one running on GeForce
And
Now.
this wasn't just a bunch of Chromebook people. Like this was like press, general press in there.
General press that are into gaming and GPUs and stuff.
There were some guys asking questions that were well above my pay grade.
Oh, I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
We're like, it works on a Chromebook though.
Stream's good on here.
Stream's good.
And it's just gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. And so I think there's probably part of that plays into it as well. Like I know Google obviously knew that cloud streaming gaming was a big deal. Obviously they launched Stadia because of that. And then they launched their gaming Chromebooks to take advantage of Luna. What was the other one? GeForce Now, Luna, and when they launched that, Stadia was already dead. What is the other one? Now Boosteroid has come out as of late, and a lot of people are starting to like it. But GeForce Now was the main one in that. There was a third one in there, a third gaming service.
Luna?
Luna's the one that's Amazon.
Yeah.
It's still around. It still stinks. I can't think of the other one. I really can't. I'll probably have to look it up now because
we'll
I feel bad. But yeah, the clearly Google saw with Stadia, they saw it, and then with the cloud-based gaming Chromebooks, they saw it. But maybe they didn't fully realize how good it was going to get. Like, I feel like something clicked with at the end of the year last year, and NVIDIA was just like, you know what? Like, we can own this. Like, we can be the one that gets it fully right.
Yeah.
And they've just gone to another level with it. Like, from a performance standpoint of how the games play once you're in them, there's still some UI stuff of getting into games. Sometimes you see Steam pop up for a second before it loads the game. But once you're in the game, oh, man, it's just next level. Like, what they're able to do, blows my mind. And I don't fully comprehend how they're doing all that stuff and how they're getting latency down so low. But I would challenge most people. Like, I don't know anybody personally that I would put that in front of that they would be able to tell me whether that's, if I hid the Chromebook and stuff and all I saw was screen, mouse, keyboard. If I was like, you think that's running on that glowy computer over there? You think that's running on a little Chromebook? I don't know that many people would be able to tell the difference. I don't think I know anybody personally that would be able to tell.
Yeah.
I think it would take literally a professional gamer, and even then, I don't know if they'd be able to tell. It's just so good. And so if Google probably didn't realize it was going to get that good, when they were working with the partners on this NVIDIA stuff, and they're going, the Borealis thing is going to be cool, and it's been good to stretch our legs and do this kind of stuff, and for some people it's going to be fun. I think the better solution for a lot of people is going to be GeForce Now.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the groundwork GeForce Now is laying will allow projects like Luna and others, Boosteroid, to just keep getting better as well. I think a lot of it has to do with GPU knowledge and NVIDIA's very specific abilities in that realm to do stuff that nobody else is doing right now. I mean, NVIDIA is a really, really wild company.
Yeah.
Like, they do some pretty crazy stuff. And so
their booth at CES is always
we just walked around and was like, what? How are you all doing
some of the
this
AI stuff they're doing, and some of the...
And that's just going to get crazier.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe no one catches them at this point. Like, they may have run away with it, but for Chromebook users, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's excellent for $20 a month. It's like, go try it out. It's worth checking out for sure, and maybe good enough for most people that the loss of some GPU enabled Chromebooks maybe not the end of the world.
Not that big of a deal. So on a happy note, let's end on a happy note here.
As I said, there's lots of new stuff.
There's lots of new stuff, so check it out. Honey, what's your deal?
She's sad. She's tired of us talking.
She's
our organic built-in timer.
Yeah. She's like, it's been 55 minutes. You need to be done. All right. So we'll wrap up here on some MediaTek news.
Yeah. So MediaTek, we've talked about these before, but Geralt is the baseboard name. I think we talked about it on the Chromecast not too long ago. I don't remember what the purpose, like, there's something else I found or something. It came up, but there is finally a second device, and it might be really the first device, because Geralt likely won't become a device.
Actual Chromebook.
It's no different than like Homestar. No, Homestar was a device.
What was Homestar?
Homestar is the Duet 5.
Oh, right.
Trying to remember the baseboard above it. I cannot remember the name, but yeah, Homestar was one of the Snapdragon Chromebooks, and so Geralt will likely be the development board, but it's called, I guess it's pronounced Ciri. It's Ciri instead of Siri. It's from The Witcher. If you look in, I don't know, I've never watched it and I've never played the game, but
looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
I've wanted to maybe get into it.
The namings all come from that, and so there was reference in one commit deep down in the code one time when I first found Geralt to White Orchard, all one word, but I've never found reference to it again, and so I don't know if that was just a placeholder for like once they started making boards. I don't know, but with MediaTek devices specifically, what I've found in the past is that they develop on a baseboard, and then eventually start spawning off the boards closer to launch. Now, I'm not saying, hey, this board showed up, there's one commit for it, I bet you we'll see it next week. It's not what I'm saying. But I think they're getting ready to start moving in that direction now. So it's like we've got most of the stuff ready. We can still patch up some things on the board as a whole. It's time to start spawning off boards. Does that mean we'll see 10? Probably not. I'd love to see like 3 or 4. What we found with Geralt so far is that they've tested displays that match the Duet 3 and Duet 5, which would be awesome. I really feel pretty solid. The original Duet was a MediaTek powered device.
Yeah.
Lenovo has shipped the Slim 3, which is a MediaTek powered device. Like they have a relationship with MediaTek. That's not out of bounds at all. And so I could see the Duet 3, Duet 5. I would love to see HP come back with the X211. Do one more of those, please. Like put this chip. You don't even have to change much about your hardware. Matter of fact, I don't know that. The only thing I would change about it is figure out how the hinge in the back for the kickstand worked. Like it protruded a lot, so it kind of wobbled on the. But that's small. That's no big deal. Like go copy what Lenovo does with the back plates because theirs are great.
They're nailing it, yeah.
But I'd love to see that. Be cool to see Acer get into it. Acer doesn't make many tablets, so probably not. And then Asus, if you remember, the Duet came out. It was COVID-y time, so everything was off. But like 6 months later, they were like, "Hey, we might want to look the CM3." They're like, "Look, also we did a Duet. Look at it." I didn't like it. It was a little too angular. The keyboard didn't clip on very well. Like there was some stuff in it that you can tell it was rushed. Take your time. Asus has been making some pretty cool stuff of late, and so it'd be cool for them to kind of bring the CM3 back with the MT8188. Dell's kind of out of the equation at this point. I don't know what they're doing. And I thought about Samsung the other day. I'm like, seems highly unlikely to me that they would make one, but they're very adept at making tablets.
Yeah,
they got all that production stuff done. They know it, and they have made. Well, let me think. Maybe not. I don't know that they've ever worked with MediaTek. I don't think there's a MediaTek powered Samsung device. I could be wrong.
Good time to start.
Yeah, it could be. Gosh dang, I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see Samsung just make a tablet, period. Use Exynos or something. I don't care. But it would be cool for them to partner with MediaTek and do one of these. And if you haven't heard about the MT8188 before, it'll come out as a Companio something. If I were betting, I'd bet like Companio 1000 something, like it'd be like a 1020 or something like that. Like hopefully to denote that you have the 1380 that's in the 513, 4 big cores, 4 little cores. Same core arrangement, unclocked, not clocked up, is in the HP X360 12B.
Yeah.
12.
Yes.
Yeah, 12B. And it's the only one out with the Companio 1200. And so that denotes a little bit of a step down. It is. Same cores. It just is not overclocked, basically. The MT8188 takes the same cores, take 2 of those big cores and change them over to the smaller cores, but it's all the same cores. So you're going to get better battery life, probably a little bit less performance at the end of the day. And but it's going to be perfect. What's up, honey baby?
Yeah, we're just gonna
bring her up here.
You're just gonna join the podcast, girl.
So yeah, that gets us, I think, probably not like bonkers performance, because like the 513 is really fast. You're like 10th gen Core i3 kind of performance. It's fast for an ARM Chromebook. It won't be quite there, but I think it's going to be pretty close. The battery life would probably be really great. And in a tablet, it's going to be, I think, probably the best median range of like, hey, great performance for tablet, but great battery life and thin form factor and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what it's going to be called. Again, my money's on Companio. I'm going Companio 1020. That's my money.
1100.
You going 11?
I don't know.
I could see that too.
1100.
Companio, it rings a little better.
But they've done like
the 20s.
They did the 520. So yeah,
820, 828.
Yeah.
1380. So they don't care about those round numbers. Hoping maybe at their media summit that they do in the fall that they'll actually name it, which would be cool, and maybe at least kind of give us a little insight on what it's going to be capable of.
Yeah, because I want to say last year they had
Did they have the 520 there? They didn't talk about the 520 there, did they?
Yeah, it was 520, 528.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I want to say they didn't have the devices, but they like hinted at
yeah, that they were coming.
A few that were coming. And then we saw those in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, we don't tend to see, with MediaTek, we don't tend to see 15 devices come out with these chips. We see a few. And so, like, if we got 4 competing Chrome OS tablets, I would be psyched. Like, just so happy to see that. Because at the end of the day, I really do believe Chrome OS has the ability to be the most desirable tablet form factor OS. I really believe that. Like, I get that iPad owns that space, but people don't realize until they use them side by side how much more productive you can be on Chrome OS once you plug a keyboard into it. And so it's like, if they can just refine the consumer side of it, dragging and dropping, part of that's always been low powered processors. So you get to the point where you got a high enough powered processor that the multitasking feels pretty nice. You fix up a couple of little things to where it's fun to use as a tablet because it's close. I've railed a little bit about what the home screen looks like, kind of dumb looking in tablet mode. Like they could fix that so easily. Like, look at the Pixel tablet. What they've done there, the tray, my app tray, looks exactly like it does on the Pixel tablet. Like, just do a little tray that comes up in the middle, and then do something with the home screen, and then basically the tablet thing's fixed.
Right,
you got it all the pieces are there, and you're good to go. And then it's productive when you punch on the keyboard. I just hope there's more than 1 or 2. But at the end of the day, if Lenovo's
honey's trying to switch for us,
if at the end of the day Lenovo's like, you know what, we'll do it, and they put out a new 3 and 5 duet that are awesome with these chips in them, so be it. I'll be happy with that too.
100%.
So looking really forward to that. Like we said, there's tons of N100 and N200 Intel small core Alder Lake devices coming, and those things are fantastic. There's 13th gen Raptor Lake. I'm using one right now. That we'll have a review of soon. Acer Chromebooks.
We're getting caught up. We promise.
Yeah. But then there's Meteor Lake stuff, and Intel's changing some of the stuff they're doing with Meteor Lake, and they haven't even come out with those specifically, but they're going to change their naming structure around. The Core i stuff might be going away, and might be aligning more with what Apple's doing, kind of Ultra Max and all that. So lots of stuff.
Cool stuff.
Lots of stuff on the horizon. So don't be bummed about the stuff. We had to talk about it because it's happening. But don't be bummed. There's tons of great stuff coming. I think the fall, we're probably going to see a lot of new products launched in the fall, just lots of deals and stuff like that. But I think MediaTek Summit, CES, we're gonna ramp into some really cool hardware. So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll obviously be talking about that stuff here on. She's trying to switch the switcher for us. You're gonna start running the podcast for us, aren't you?
She's like, is there a camera on me? Put it on me.
Is there one on my face? Put it on my face. Put it on my pretty face. So we'll be covering everything obviously on the website and then also here on the Chromecast.
So now you need to watch the video because Honey's
you got a Honey guest appearance. You got to go check it out. But we appreciate y'all tuning in and listening and watching. If you are watching over on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Go down there and click subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to get an alert when we put out new episodes, which we will hopefully get back on schedule doing.
Yep. So, I feel like we're getting back in the back in the flow.
Getting back in the groove. All right. That's it for this week. We'll catch you all next time. See you.